We're joined now with Jon Alterman from the Center for Strategic and International Studies to discuss more of this. Jon, it's great to see you here on set. I want to play a little bit about what the president said today when he was asked kind of how confident he is that this ceasefire between Iran and Israel is at this point. Let's take a listen.
I think they're both tired of it. I think they don't want it to happen again. And Iran's not going to have a nuclear weapon, by the way. I think it's the last thing on their mind right now.
So what's your assessment? Are they tired of it? What should we make of what we've seen today?
You know, Caitlin, I'm not sure they're tired of it, but from an Israeli perspective, they got not only what they wanted in the near term, they got what Israeli governments have wanted for more than a decade, for the United States to take out this Fordo nuclear facility, which only the U.S. has the capability to do. The U.S. did it, and by the way, it didn't start a war. So from an Israeli perspective, mission accomplished. From an Iranian perspective, they can't fight a conventional war against the United States and Israel. The Iranians can negotiate. They can do their asymmetrical things like terrorism and cyber and supporting proxy groups. But to stay involved in a conventional military battle, they keep losing. So I think the Iranians decided, let's get out of this. The Israelis decided, we're done, let's move on. And both sides had President Trump pushing them and said, okay, we'll do it.
Well, so that's interesting because I think we were wondering how quickly this came together. I mean, when we got off air, minutes after we got off air, this ceasefire was announced yesterday. Is that typical for these types of things, for that to come together so quickly? Or was it just that all of these pressures were mounting?
Again, I think every side thought enough. I think the president was forceful and people had confidence that if the president said it, the Israelis would follow through, the Iranians would follow through. So it was a combination of both the circumstance and having an American president who seemed to really care about moving this forward.
You know, what was interesting yesterday was that there was talk of de-escalation after what I think most people would look at and say, wait, that feels like it's escalating with missiles being fired and retaliatory strikes. How is it that we've gotten to this point that it feels like things may be on their way to some kind of de-escalation?
Again, I think if you look at everybody's interests are in trying to back down. Where this goes in the longer term, I think is a concern. I think we all remember President Bush standing with a mission accomplished sign in Iraq. The danger is that rather than slowing an Iranian nuclear bomb, this attack actually accelerates the development of Iranian nuclear bomb. They decide they'll withdraw from the Non-Proliferation Treaty. It's harder to get insight to what they're doing. They surprise the world with a nuclear device. We could be in that world in 2 or 3 years. I think the important thing now is that the military action is followed up with successful diplomatic action to get the Iranians to abandon the nuclear program. They haven't said they will, and I don't see any sign yet that they intend to, but can you use the circumstance we're in now to move them in that direction? That's the diplomatic challenge that the White House faces right now.
And just quickly on that point, I mean, it seems from what you're describing that Iran is in such a weakened state that they are essentially being forced into the negotiation table. I mean, what do they have at this point working for them?
Well, they have, I mean, what they want is they want relief from sanctions, and they want to stop fighting a war. What they have is they have a nuclear weapons program they can bargain away, and their ability to do all the mischief that they've done in the Middle East and around the world using these asymmetrical tools. Basically, we're trying to get them to stop misbehaving. And I think the question in their mind is, will we get what we want? The real question also is, will they actually give up the nuclear program? How long will they try to drag this out? Whose patience will run out first? And that's something we're going to have to watch in not only the months to come, but in the years to come.
Absolutely, something that will hover over this administration, certainly. Jon, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Caitlin.